and welcome to Newsfeed on Trust TV. I am Sumaya Abubakar, taking you through the stories trending online that people are talking about and sharing around the globe today. Reps declare Nigeria air launch a fraud. Some former governors dined with terrorists and compromised Northwest Security Alliance, says Governor Obasani. Businessman Jimoh Ibrahim shares how Nigeria can settle her debt in 90 days. And Japanese students attend 43,000 Naira smiling lessons after years of wearing COVID masks. Now, top of what's trending today, we have the House of Representatives Committee on Aviation, who has asked the federal government to suspend operation of Nigerian Air, which it described as a fraud. Njami Naji Nolim, chairman of the committee, said this at an investigative hearing with Airline Operators of Nigeria, AON, and representatives of Ministry of Aviation on Tuesday, June 6th. The lawmakers said that the Ministry of Aviation's claim of Nigerian Air being only unveiled and not launched is an attempt to divert their attention. They expressed their disappointment when told by NAMA that the aircraft bearing Nigerian Air design, which arrived the country days ago, was a chartered flight. Other stakeholders who confirmed the disclosure noted that a chartered flight could be painted in any color and with any inscription. After Senator Olujimi, chairman of the Committee on Aviation, averred that the arrangement of the Nigerian Air was shrouded in suspicion, Olumide responded by saying that it was hired and does not require a license. Amidst this drama, former presidential aide Bashir Ahmed counters House of Representatives members by saying Nigerian Air is not a fraud. A netizen commented, "In a working system, everybody shrouded in this fraudulent project will be in jail and they will cough out every penny that went into this. But in my country, they are heroes and local champions, self-acclaimed achievers. God help us." Another said, "Of course it's Yahoo, and the so-called EFCC is going around arresting innocent people." Someone added, "These people have turned us to a laughingstock to the world." Next on what's trending, we have Governor Obasani of Kaduna State, who has alleged that some former governors in the Northwest compromised the security alliance among states in the region by whining and dining with bandits and other terrorists. Sani, who made the claim during an interview on Channels TV on Tuesday, June 6th, said these former governors took an extremely wrong approach in the management of the internal affairs of the states, leading to the current security challenges. He said, "I remember when the Kaduna State government and some states within the Northwest and even Niger states, they have borders with us, came together to work out a framework, to tackle this issue of security. We had a joint committee, joint funding, working closely with all the security agencies, the Army, the Air Force, and the police. But unfortunately, somewhere along the line, the alliance broke down when some state governors decided to start engaging the bandits and the terrorists, sitting with them, whining and dining with them, compensating them and negotiating with them." Sani added that the approach brought the process backwards, resulting, in a breakdown of the alliance. He said, "Only 2 weeks ago, I invited all the governors from the Northwest to Kaduna State liaison office in Abuja. I hosted them. Irrespective of party differences, they all came. We sat down together and came out with a kind of, policy framework to tackle the problem of insecurity." A netizen said, "If you wanted this new structure to work, you wouldn't have told us. Same old, same old. Dear new governors, can't you see that we're tired of listening to stale speeches with old strategies? We want to see results. Talk is cheap." The guy said, "Sir, this is something that we are aware of. However, if names are not mentioned alongside forensic evidence, this information is useless to civilians." A lady said, "Everybody know. Help us, make Kaduna State peaceful. Let justice be brought. We sleep with fear that the next minute can be worse." Sad one. Next on what's trending, we have Jimoh Ibrahim, the senator-elect representing Ondo State, Ondo South says that it's impossible or possible for Nigeria to pay back its 77 trillion naira debt in 90 days. The billionaire businessman said Nigeria's current debt profile should not be a source of worry for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu because he can give him a strategy that will help him pay the debt. Ibrahim said this while speaking to Channels TV on Tuesday, June 6, 2023. He said, what is the debt ratio of the GDP of a country? Nigeria's is currently around 31%, which means we have a window of about 70% to borrow more money. Nigeria is wasting its time not borrowing more money. Dubai is owing $167 billion and has a population of 12 million and 3 million indigenous people. They developed a plan to boost their infrastructure facilities, and today everything is fine in Dubai whilst paying their debt back with ease. Breaking down his debt repayment strategy, he said, what you need to do is call together about 5 Exim banks, including China's, and take a loan, of about 5 times what we are owing currently. Do a bridge gap financing and then pay off what you owe and have a surplus. Prepare a repayment program for 40 years and then have a honorarium period of 10 years and you are out of debt. With this, you can negotiate with the creditor for a 30% discount. A netizen commented, this is another update for our politicians to embezzle money. This man just dropped for them so. The guy said, it's giving con man vibes, but con men usually make good businessmen, so he might be right with his ideas and assertions. Another guy wrote that debt consolidation or refinance is not the problem of Nigeria. Corruption and embezzlement is the problem. So what happens when snake come and swallow the 100 trillion loan from 5 Exim banks? Next on What's Trending, we have a 23-year-old student of University of Lagos identified simply as Adekunle, who was shot dead by armed robbers while trying to retrieve his friend's stolen phone. The incident happened at Harvey Road, Moore Road Junction in the Yaba area of the state on Saturday, June 3rd, 2023. And according to Punch, Adekunle and his schoolmate, identified simply as Opeyemi, boarded a shuttle bus from Yaba to Unilag. And while in the vehicle, a man who was hanging at the back of the bus dispossessed Opeyemi of her iPhone 7 Plus. Opeyemi raised the alarm and Adekunle, in a desperate attempt to retrieve the phone from the robber, who jumped down from the bus and fled, pursued him. Realizing that Adekunle was closing in on the suspect, one of the hoodlums suspected to be working with the fleeing suspect appeared from nowhere and shot the student. It was gathered that policemen who arrived at the scene later evacuated Adekunle's corpse and deposited it in a morgue of the mainland hospital. The spokesperson for the police in the state, SP Benjamin Hundeyin, who confirmed the incident, said the command had commenced an investigation. A netizen wrote, that guy is a hero. We need more like him in the country. Rest on and may his soul rest in peace. A lady said, we need to learn to be wise. There are no accolades for best in bravery. Sometimes just let things go and don't ever fight people that steal your stuff with confidence. They usually have dangerous weapons. R.I.P. Ade. And someone added, he risks his own life for a phone that can be replaced at the expense of a life that cannot. R.I.P. A sad one there. Now let's take a short break, and when we come back, you will see what BB Naija Doing said about relationships. Stay tuned. Welcome back. It's Newsfeed. Now, relationship between educated and uneducated person cannot work. Now, this was said according to BB Naija Doing. Former Big Brother Naija housemate Doing David has stated that a relationship between an educated and non-educated or uneducated person can't work. The reality TV star made this known on her Twitter page on Tuesday, 6th of June. And according to Doing, dating someone whose IQ is lower will drive you insane. She stressed that education shapes one's reasoning and generally orientates. Now, the reality TV star wrote, a relationship between an educated person and an uneducated person cannot work. Education shapes your reasoning, communication skills, and generally your orientation. It's not pride if you don't date someone that isn't within your mental wavelength. You will lose your mind. The netizen said, Ladipo businessmen that married women with 2 master's degrees just laughed. Another said, it depends on what you define as education. In Nigeria especially, we have lots of educated illiterates, people who just have certificates but very low IQs. We see them here on social media every day. Some of them are even called celebrities. On the other hand, there are people who were not opportune to go through tertiary education, but they are highly intelligent. They can communicate assertively. It's not about going to school, really. While someone else said, fact, if you're trying to have an intelligent conversation with your uneducated partner, they will just be quiet and contribute nothing. Also, their reasoning can't be changed because our reasoning are shaped and made to accommodate changes through education. Okay, a debate there. Next on What's Trending, we have Nigerian lady who alleges that African men are coming back home, to Nigeria from abroad to marry women for the purpose of protecting themselves. She also claimed that there are many women suffering domestic abuse in her DM who look, happy on social media. Take a look at what she had to say more.
Do you know the reason why they are running home to come and marry? It's not because that the women in Europe does not have respect. It is because that the government of European do not give them the chance to be maltreating women like a slave, just like the way they are doing to you now in Africa. They know that if they try it in this Europe, they will be in jail. So what will they do? They will run to Africa to marry you. Be very careful. If any man comes from Ogbodo, you both said he wants to marry you, Jekwe say, be very smart and vigilant. If not, he will panic beat you. Because they know that in Africa, there is no law. So that's why many women are dying out of domestic. Come and see my inbox and see women from Nigeria dying secretly. But if you see them on Facebook or everywhere, you think they are happy. They are not.
The guy said, taking dating advice from women on what men want is like going to your mechanic for medical advice. Maybe you should listen to men on what they want and why they return home to marry. A lady said, it is this your English that make those men run to Africa. And someone added, someone hurt her, promised her ring and went home to locate true love. Next on What's Trending, we have Japanese students who attend 43,000 Naira smiling lessons after years of wearing COVID masks. Now, students in Japan have been undergoing smile education to relearn their social cues after years of wearing masks against COVID. Keiko Kawano's company, Egeoku, has seen a more than fourfold jump in demand for smile instruction since last year, according to Mail Online. A 1-hour-long session cost 7,700 yen, that's about 43,000 naira, and customers range from companies investing in salespeople to local governments supporting residents' well-being. Himawari Yoshida, 20, one of the students taking the class as part of her school's courses to prepare them for the job market, says that she needed to work on her smile. I haven't, used my facial muscles much during COVID, so it's good for exercise, she said. Kawano said that young people have perhaps become used to life with masks. Now, the former radio host who started giving lessons in 2017 has also trained 23 others as smiling coaches to spread the virtues and technique of crafting the perfect smile around Japan. Her trademark Hollywood-style smiling technique method comprises crescent eyes, round cheeks, and shaping the edges of the mouth to bear its pearly whites in the upper row. Interesting. A netizen commented, all these developed countries, it's like they get to a high developed level that they end up not knowing what to do again. A guy said, your smile is scary, please continue wearing the face masks. And a lady said, immediately I read attend 25,500 smiling lessons. After years of wearing COVID masks, I laughed uncontrollably. Internet is the best place to relieve your mind from stress and anger, because what is this? And lastly, onto a funny video of a conversation between a dog and its owner. Take a look.
Luna, are you a mommy's girl or are you a daddy's girl? What? What is that? You a mommy's girl or you a daddy's girl? Which one? Daddy?
A smart one there. And that is all on Newsfeed today on Trust TV. Follow us and subscribe to all our social media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. Bye.